Yo, what's good, man? It's a late video right now. Not gonna stay long on this video, but today I actually got a chance to, check out the Crawford and Canelo fight. Well, most of you guys don't know, I'm a sports fan. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time I'm talking about what goes on, in society, between an economy and the evil elites and oligarchs of the world. But, I have a different side, man, to try to, soften the blow on the things that these people cause to the common folk. And that's sports, man. I like to check out sports. I've always been interested, and I'm very knowledgeable in the sense of understanding, each sport, whether that's, NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, and boxing. Boxing is one of my favorite sports. I've been following it for years. Probably a little bit, probably a little bit past 2 decades. I've been following boxing. I remember my first boxing fight that I seen. I think I was like 6 years old. I was 6 years old, and I was with my godparents. At the time they were considered my grandparents. Because they were a little bit older. But I was with them, and I was 6 years old. I was in their room, and I remember my grandpa popping on a boxing fight, and I think I remember at that time it was a HBO, I think, After Dark fight. And on that HBO After Dark fight was my first time ever seeing Floyd Mayweather. And yeah, I think I was close to about six years old. I think Floyd was, I was either 6 or 7, but I think Floyd was, he was young, man. He just turned pro. I mean, he probably had to be like 17. And this was like 96, 97. And I remember watching that, and it's been crazy ever since, man. I've been, watching boxing ever since. I went from that as my first fight I've ever seen on TV to watching Roy Jones Jr. As he elevated, later in his career, which was actually his peak, So I ran into the peak of Roy Jones Jr. into the evolution of Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I actually had a chance to meet Floyd Mayweather Jr. too. I know it's a little bit of a far-fetched claim, you know what I'm saying, being that, you like to, show evidence and pictures and stuff like that. But I met him, and at the time I was like, I believe 19 years old. We went out, my friends and I went out to Las Vegas, and Floyd had just beat somebody. I don't remember. But Floyd at the time was running around. He was running around Vegas, hitting all the different clubs. And I don't remember if it was the Drays or the Flamingos. I don't remember what club it was. But all I remember is that I was with my boy. And at this time, like, cell phones was fucking poor quality, bro. I mean, like, flip phone, poor quality, taking a picture and the picture come out like this small and shit. I don't know if you guys, all the millennials remember that, but you Gen Zs, if you listen, and you probably don't know nothing about that. But anyway, my friend had a flip phone, but that wasn't mine, you know what I'm saying? And I remember, like, it was 2 big ass dudes, man. It was a brother, and it was a Samoan dude. And they was huge, man. They were like 6'8", 400 and some odd pounds. And I remember, like, my boy was standing next to me, and I was like, what the? I was like, who is this? Like, coming, like, these big guys. And then, like, as these dudes is walking, like, they kind of just separate. As they separate, they're fucking Floyd. Floyd walks right through the middle, and we're literally face to face. because he's walking, you know, like toward me. And then I'm like, I said, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I was a little starstruck because I was a young kid. I was like 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? That shit, never really been to Vegas that many times. Maybe that was my first. Was that? Yeah, that was like my first time. And we wanted. We not even supposed to be in the casinos at that time because we only 18. And I think Floyd walked up to me and I said, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I pointed at him like this. I said, it's you. That shit was funny as hell. And then my boy could back me up on that. But I was like, it's you. And then he fucking laughed, bro. I mean, like, Floyd laughed because that shit was so fucking funny. Like, he's literally looking at me in my face and he's laughing. But like he shakes my hand, you know what I'm saying? Like, and Floyd don't shake nobody's hand. But this was early in his career where he was still kind of building, but he was still he was just leaving Pretty Boy and converting, I believe, over to Money. Maybe I believe a few years after that. So he was Pretty Boy still. And I remember you know, he's shaking my hand and he said, what's up? And you know, they kept it pushing or whatever, and they hit a club. And I hit my boy up like after we left, and I said, hey man, hey Floyd, man, he run this fucking place. He's the only dude I know that you can go and get into a club and be wearing sweats. Dude had a beater on and sweats on and walked right into a club. If you remember at that time, millennials, if you went to Vegas and you went to clubs and shit, around that time, I think it was 2000 and I'm going to say 2008. If you remember around that time, you know how fucking hard it was to be able to get into a club in Vegas if you wasn't wearing the proper attire. Like I said, he went with sweats on and a beater and some flip-flops and walked right into the club. And me and we was just laughing about that shit because we used to see people get kicked out and, you know, denied at the door, you know, because you weren't wearing certain things. So I always thought that shit was funny. But anyway, though, this video was more like, you know, just talking about that and talking about, you know, just giving a congratulations to Terence Bud Crawford, man. That's one of my favorite fighters. He just destroyed Canelo Alvarez today. And, you know, hats off to Canelo because Canelo's a great fighter. And it was a good fight. It was free on Netflix. You know, I like that. I like that the guy Turkey Al-Rashid, you know what I'm saying? He looked out for the customers, you know, or the boxing fans, I would say. And he made the fight free, you know. So if anybody that enjoyed boxing, all you had to do was, you know, have the little Netflix account and you could have watched this fight, you know, this mega fight. This is like the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, the Sugar Ray Leonard and the Marvin Hagler, you know, these are the mega fights that you really, you know, can't wait to see. And, you know, kudos to him for making that shit free, and congrats to Terence Crawford because he really put on a show, man. I mean, the guy he's exceptional. I've never seen anything like it. You know, 4-division undisputed champion, that's never been done before. He just made complete history. So, you know, congrats to him, man. And that's pretty much it. I don't have nothing more to say, man. It's late, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's pretty much it. And, you know, thanks for checking this out. If you guys like what you heard, like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, peace.